Customs Act. Q1. Give brief definitions about these under the umbrella of Customs Act. A. Bill of Export. A legal document required by customs authorities for exporting goods from one country to another. It includes details such as the exporter's information, description of goods, quantity, value, destination country, and any other relevant information necessary for customs clearance and compliance with export regulations. B. Import Report. A formal declaration submitted to customs authorities by an importer detailing the goods being imported into a country. It typically includes information such as the importer's details, description of goods, quantity, value, country of origin, and any other relevant information required for customs clearance and compliance with import regulations. C. Foreign-going vessel. A ship or vessel engaged in international voyages, departing from or arriving at a port in a country other than its own. In the context of the Customs Act, it refers to ships or vessels involved in foreign trade, either arriving at or departing from a port within the jurisdiction of a country's customs authority. D. Imported and exported goods. Imported goods. Goods brought into a country from abroad for domestic use, consumption, or trade. Subject to customs duties, taxes, and regulations upon entry into the importing country. Exported goods. Goods shipped out of a country to foreign destinations for sale, trade, or use. Subject to customs procedures and regulations before leaving the exporting country. E. Person in charge, PIC. The individual who has the responsibility and authority for the operation and management of a vessel, aircraft, vehicle, or other conveyance. In the context of customs regulations, the PIC is typically required to provide information, documentation, and cooperation to customs authorities regarding the conveyance, its cargo, crew, and passengers, as necessary for customs clearance and compliance. F. Proper officer, PO. An authorized official designated under the Customs Act to perform duties related to customs administration, enforcement, and regulation. The PO is responsible for various functions, including customs clearance, inspection of goods and conveyances, assessment of duties and taxes, investigation of customs offenses, and other related tasks to ensure compliance with customs laws and regulations. G. Incoterms. International commercial terms, Incoterms, are a set of standardized terms used in international trade to define the responsibilities and obligations of buyers and sellers regarding the delivery, transportation, and risk transfer of goods. Incoterms specify who is responsible for arranging and paying for transportation, insurance, customs clearance, and other logistical processes involved in the movement of goods between parties in different countries. These terms are widely used in contracts and trade documents to ensure clarity and consistency in global trade transactions. H. Taxable event. A specific occurrence or transaction that triggers the imposition of customs duties, taxes, or other charges by customs authorities. In the context of the Customs Act, a taxable event typically refers to the importation or exportation of goods across international borders, where customs duties, taxes, or tariffs may be levied based on the value, quantity, or nature of the goods involved. The occurrence of the taxable event determines the point at which customs obligations arise and the applicable rates or rules that govern the assessment and collection of customs duties and taxes. I. Flotsam, jetsam, wreck. Flotsam. Debris or wreckage from a ship that is found floating on the surface of the water. Typically includes materials or goods that have been lost or discarded from a vessel. Jetsam. Goods or cargo that have been deliberately thrown overboard from a ship to lighten its load during an emergency or to jettison unwanted or damaged goods. Jetsam is intentionally discarded at sea. Wreck. The remains of a sunken or stranded vessel, including its cargo, equipment, or wreckage. Wrecks may pose hazards to navigation and may be subject to salvage rights or regulations under maritime law and customs regulations. J. Pilferage. The theft or unauthorized removal of goods, cargo, or property, typically occurring during transportation, storage, or handling. In the context of customs regulations, pilferage refers to the illegal removal or theft of goods from a shipment or storage facility, often involving tampering with containers, packages, or storage areas to steal or remove valuable items without detection. Q2. Provide a brief about these different types of duties in Customs Act. A. Basic Custom Duties. Basic Customs Duty, BCD, is the standard duty imposed on imported goods when they enter a country's customs territory. It is levied as a percentage of the assessable value of the imported goods, often based on the harmonized tariff schedule or a specific customs classification system. Basic customs duty serves as a source of revenue for the government and also acts as a protective measure to safeguard domestic industries from unfair competition from cheaper imported goods. The rates of basic customs duty may vary depending on factors such as the nature of the goods, their country of origin, trade agreements, and government policies aimed at promoting domestic manufacturing or controlling imports. B. Protective duties. Protective duties are tariffs imposed on imported goods to protect domestic industries from foreign competition. These duties are designed to make imported goods more expensive, thereby encouraging consumers to purchase domestically produced alternatives. Protective duties may be imposed in addition to basic customs duties and are typically applied to specific goods or industries deemed sensitive or strategic for the country's economy. The imposition of protective duties aims to safeguard domestic employment, promote industrial growth, and prevent dumping of cheap foreign goods that could undermine the competitiveness of local producers. C. Safeguard duties. Safeguard duties are temporary tariffs imposed on imported goods to protect domestic industries from sudden and significant increases in imports that threaten their viability. These duties are imposed when imports of a particular product surge in volume or when domestic industries face serious injury or threat of injury due to increased competition from imports. Safeguard duties are typically imposed for a limited period and are subject to strict conditions and procedures outlined in international trade agreements and domestic legislation. The purpose of safeguard duties is to provide temporary relief to domestic industries, allowing them time to adjust to changing market conditions or implement measures to improve competitiveness without causing undue harm to trade relations. D. Countervailing duty. Countervailing duties, CVD, are tariffs imposed on imported goods to offset subsidies provided by foreign governments to their domestic producers. These duties are levied to neutralize the unfair advantage gained by subsidized imports, which can harm domestic industries by undercutting prices and distorting competition. Countervailing duties are calculated based on the amount of subsidy received by the foreign producers and are imposed in addition to basic customs duties. The imposition of countervailing duties aims to ensure a level playing field for domestic producers and prevent the negative impact of subsidized imports on domestic industries and employment. E. Provisional safeguard duty. Provisional safeguard duty is a temporary tariff imposed on imported goods when there is a sudden surge in imports that threatens domestic industries. This duty is imposed on a provisional basis before a thorough investigation is conducted to determine if safeguard measures are necessary to protect domestic industries from serious injury. Provisional safeguard duties are implemented swiftly to provide immediate relief to domestic producers while a comprehensive investigation is carried out. Once the investigation is complete and it is confirmed that safeguard measures are warranted, the provisional duty may be converted into a definitive safeguard duty or discontinued based on the findings of the investigation. F. Anti-dumping duty. Anti-dumping duty is a tariff imposed on imported goods that are being sold at a price lower than their fair market value in the exporting country, causing injury to domestic producers. This duty aims to counteract the unfair trade practice of dumping, where foreign producers sell goods in the importing country at prices below their production costs or below prices in their home market. Anti-dumping duties are calculated to bring the import price of the dumped goods up to a level that eliminates the injury caused to domestic producers and restores fair competition in the market. These duties are imposed for a specific period, typically 5 years, and are subject to review and renewal based on the ongoing assessment of dumping practices and their impact on domestic industries. G. IGST and GST compensation cess. GST, Integrated Goods and Services Tax. 1. Indirect tax on interstate and imported goods/services. 2. Part of GST system, administered by central government. 3. Levied on value of goods/services during import or interstate supply. 4. Revenue shared between central and state governments. GST compensation cess. 1. Additional levy on specific goods/services. 2. Compensates states for revenue losses due to GST implementation. 3. Imposed on items like tobacco, luxury cars, aerated drinks. 4. Administered by central government, aimed at ensuring smooth GST transition for states. Q3. Chart out the import procedure. Solution: sure, here's a simplified chart outlining the import procedure. 1. Research and planning. Identify products. Research regulations. 2. Obtain licenses and permits. Obtain required documents. 3. Find suppliers. Identify reliable suppliers. 4. Agree on terms of sale. Negotiate terms. 5. Arrange transportation. Arrange shipping. 6. Submit documentation. Prepare and submit paperwork. 7. Customs clearance. Clear customs. 8. Arrange delivery, transport to final destination. 9. Quality inspection. Check product quality. 10. Payment. Make payment to supplier. Each step is essential for a successful import process. Q4. Chart out the export procedure. Solution: sure, here's a simplified chart outlining the export procedure. 1. Research and planning. Identify target markets. Research export regulations. 2. Obtain licenses and permits. Obtain necessary documents. 3. Find buyers. Identify potential buyers. 4. Agree on terms of sale. Negotiate terms. 5. Prepare goods for export. Ensure product quality. Packaging. 6. Submit documentation. Prepare paperwork. 7. Customs clearance. Complete export procedures. 8. Arrange transportation. Arrange shipping. 9. Delivery to importer. Transport goods. 10. Payment. Receive payment. 11. Post-shipment follow-up. Confirm receipt. Address any issues. Each step is crucial for a successful export transaction.